This is Marketing Uncomplicated. So many entrepreneurs think the next level comes from a better funnel, a better strategy, or a better hire. But what if the real breakthrough comes from something much less talked about, your inner game? Today's guest believes profitability starts with clarity, confidence, and joy. Charity Brown is a business coach with over 20 years of experience as an entrepreneur, accountant, and branding expert. She's the author of Create Clarity and Charity and the creator of the Happy CEO Method, which we're going to dive into, a framework that helps entrepreneurs win from the inside out using what she calls the 4 Ps: power, planning, prospects and profits. She's helped thousands of emerging entrepreneurs simplify businesses so they can stop surviving and start building sustainable, impactful companies. Charity, welcome to the podcast. It's so great to have you.
Thank you so much, Sasha. I'm so excited to be here.
I love it. I love the 4 Ps setup. I can't wait to dive into it. It's so interesting to really support that. So, but let's
Mhm.
start where, the hook, why happiness in business isn't a fluff. So, happy CEO. Some people hear that and think it sounds soft, right? What is happiness actually a strategic advantage?
Yeah, because we lead from the inside out, right? And being a CEO or a business owner, if your cup is not full and you're not feeling happy about your profits, your staff, your product, then there's going to be problems. But it
Yeah.
also starts with the inner game. And, a lot of business owners are super passionate about their business and it is part of them. And if they aren't happy with it, then they're going to have adversity.
No, I love that you say that because even as a business owner myself, you really shine through as a person when you start your business. So a lot of your inner comes out and really working through that, right? So you are right. I mean, a lot of the times it is this up and down roller coaster ride, and really, how do we find balance? What do
Mhm.
you think is broken right now and how entrepreneurs approach success?
Yeah, well, everyone's very profit driven, which is key. I mean, obviously, we're in business to make money, right? So if we weren't, then it's a hobby. But I really think that happiness and joyfulness and being of service and also providing a good product, a good service is key. So I think people are losing themselves in the competition and all the new tools that are making people seem even more distant and unauthentic at times, and really not reading themselves in their true authentic brand.
Yeah, and it's really just the numbers, numbers, numbers. You start an Instagram account, it's like, how do we get to 10,000 tomorrow? How do we grow to 20,000 tomorrow? And you lose the fun in actually getting to the 10,000 or getting to the 20,000 because there is this imposed race of trying to get there.
Yeah,
You talk,
exactly.
yeah, you talked a lot about in the beginning of this inner game, and I wanna unpack that a bit. So, what does that actually mean in practical terms?
The inner game, the,
Yes.
the first P, which is power, personal power, self-belief, confidence, clarity, and drive, determination,
Yeah.
vision. It really is a lot of things. And it's important that people start there before they get ready to scale or launch.
So, in actual essence, the 4 Ps work in cohesion with each other, correct?
Yes, so it's all very cohesive. Yeah, so it's like a one, two, three, four.
I love that. Is there one that starts before the other, or is it individualistic based on which P you pick up first?
Well, with the Happy CEO program, it's very strategic. So it's first P power, second P planning and strategy. Third P is positioning and prospects, and then the fourth P is profits. So I've had the best success with my clients doing them exactly in that order. Obviously, everyone does those in all their different orders, but then they find out that, wow, if I didn't have the right mindset, but I'm ready to start this business, but I'm really unhappy and stuck myself, then how am I going to make this business scale? And they put all this money into planning or marketing, and then they're getting the same results that they were before because they aren't mentally and emotionally and
Trained.
ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen seen talented founders just absolutely sabotage growth because they lacked clarity or alignment?
Oh yeah, so many times, and that's the key is really that's why we do the second P. The planning is key, the strategy, because we really dial into segment markets. Where are your clients? Really getting into your client avatar or your customer avatar. Really making sure you are aligned with your audience, so you don't dump um, tens of thousands of dollars into marketing and you're marketing to the wrong group.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of companies don't actually know who their ideal customer profile is, correct? Yeah. So it's really just helping them uncover that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really actually a lot of business owners, like when they start, they just wish market and they just think the whole world needs their stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone could use it. Right. But let's get realistic. What problem are they having? Where do they live? Is it even feasible for them to work with you, and really being certain about the problem you solve for
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
people. Mhm.
So you're an accountant by training, and I love that piece to the pie, and I want to unpack as well. Not to use that word again, but to really understand how this plays a role in everything that you're doing. But it's the idea that you understand numbers deeply, which is super supportive to the clients that you onboard, because there is this balance of, you know, yes, there's happiness needed to be involved, but then it's also the numbers game of, to your point, as we talked about, needing to make the profit, right? So
Yeah.
this just isn't a mindset talk. It's grounded in, the root of financial reality. So I taking from that, I want to dive into, what the happy CEO method is, and let's just really break that down.
Yeah. So, well, the Happy CEO method is the four piece framework: the power, planning, positioning, and profit. It's literally the toolbox that every entrepreneur, CEO, business owner needs to, one, dial into their vision of success, really develop that, confidence and clarity in who they are and what success looks like to them. And we do, I don't know, like, this is silly, but you see all these dream boards behind me, but it's
So
very
not silly, not silly.
so I think, and I like people to do that for themselves as the happy CEO first. Okay, here's you as the happy CEO, summiting your success, standing on a mountain top, successful. What are you doing? Where are you at? How much are you making? Who's with you? What are you selling? You
Yeah.
know, let's really get realistic.
Let's visualize it.
Visualize it, and then actually visualize. I do a visualization session like Dr. Joe Dispenza, where if you do that every day and you see yourself successful and shaking hands and networking and getting those 10 new clients that you need this month, and you get active about it, and you integrate this 9 steps to inner freedom, which I'm certified in. It's called the Zen Zone Mindset, and I baked it into the business program, the 5-star business accelerator, which Kevin Harrington endorsed for me and created the Happy CEO.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's because I think that's what a lot of business professionals and CEOs are missing, the inner game, and people need to go to the inner gym, before they
Oh, I
start.
love that.
Yeah, and like working that out. And then once they're like, yes, I know I can do it. Yes, I know what success looks like to me. Yes, I know what I need to remove. Yes, okay, now we're ready for P number 2, planning. And we get really dialed in to the key fundamentals of your investor pitch and your strategy, and being able to voice who you are, what you do, what problem you solve. We go over like 60-second elevator pitch that also Kevin Harrington, the investor pitch that we do, endorse, saying, if everyone did this plan, we would fund 80% more businesses that would pitch
Oh,
us as investors.
wow.
And that's a huge compliment coming from him. He's been in business, longer than I've been alive. And it's like really getting into the fundamentals that you need to look at every year. Like you need
Yeah.
to know, what your segment market looks like. You have to know what your competition's doing. You have to know what your maximum and minimum revenue is to break even or to make a profit. You have to know these certain things, and who your team's going to be and how you're going to execute it and how you're going to delegate. Doing the real work. And I have a triple degree in business accounting and new media. And like, you don't need that anymore because we have coaches, we have people like me that are spilling the beans, like
Yeah.
this. After 30 years in business,
Yeah.
I've been an accountant since 1999. I opened like 5 restaurants and was the
You've seen a lot.
yeah. So it's kind of like, I know the stumbling blocks. I know, like what book smart gets you and then what real life business entrepreneurship gets you. And from having over 1,000 clients in my accounting business and being a fractional CFO, I have seen from the inside out, what people stumble over.
Yeah, yeah. Is there a through line in terms of what you see over and over and over again?
Um, well, yeah, like leaping before they plan or just not thinking through the ROI, just spending money without even caring about KPIs or the return on the investment, but they just want it now,
Yeah.
and not like following up on it and like tracking it and just seeing if there's an investment, you know, a profit to that, cash that they spent on whatever that new marketing, proposal was. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, totally. Totally. So, for the happy CEO, would you say that this is early stage founders, scaling CEOs, or women entrepreneurs? Who are you focusing on most? And obviously, like you said, you know, when you work with your own clients, it's not that, what they offer is for everybody, but in this sense, this could be a very scalable piece to the pie that a lot of people can jump in. But I'd love to hear from you who you're really working with and who this is really beneficial for.
Yeah. So right now it's different than, I work with small businesses that make anywhere from $1 to $10 million a year. That's my key niche. So they're already generating revenue. They already have a viable product. They're already, done some marketing and have a brand presence. But maybe it's failing. Maybe it's not working. Maybe they're stuck.
Yeah.
But in the last 10 years, I've been coaching, doing business mentorship and business coaching, and helped hundreds of people open their businesses and start businesses from conception. And my favorite are people like me that were like in corporate, because I was a corporate, uh, fractional CFO for corporate America for 15 years, but I always had my side accounting business where I still worked with some restaurants and things. But what I really wanted to do was just be full time, as a consultant. And so when I hit rock bottom, I finally, came to my senses and stopped the suffering, and started Now Answer Group, which was one of the best things I ever did, which was my media and branding company that was endorsed by Kevin Harrington. And from there, I just, felt like such liberation that I got out of the corporate shackles, and that I was free again because I had already been an entrepreneur earlier on in my life. But then I thought, wow, this was exhausting. Being a restaurateur is no joke. I don't want to work 60, 70 hours. I don't also want to be a side accountant for 10 other restaurants. It's just driving me crazy. Like, I'm not happy,
Yeah.
and it
More
was
more definitely isn't better.
no, no, it's not. And especially when you're a mom and you have a family and you have kids and you have a house, it's like, where did my life go? And so, coming back to my favorite clients are those that are suffering in corporate, and they have a trade, they have a degree, they have a skill, they could make 10x what they're making in their salary, and they know that and they're determined. Those are some of my favorite clients. But right now I work with, $1 to $10 million CEOs, small business owners that are identifying with, okay, I need to step into my happy CEO. I
Mhm.
need to, um, you know, get out of the rut, shift my mindset, get the newest hot rod AI tools installed, delegate, 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 and know what my strategy is and stop spinning in my chair, trying to figure out how to get out of this alive. Um,
It's true. It's true. We
yeah.
get that feeling. How do you balance the mindset and mechanics? Because both matter, right?
Oh yeah. So, and that's the thing. I mean, there's balance in life. It's very hard. We're all trying to find that perfect balance. And so that's when we start prioritizing it. and really making it important. And I have some amazing accountability software, AI tools that you can just put on your phone that keep you balanced, that keep you scheduled, that keep you, doing joyful, fun activities that aren't necessarily work related. And then also managing your time and, really leveraging it.
I love it. I love it. So, what's the biggest aha moment your clients typically have?
Um, like, oh my gosh, why did I wait to do this?
Why did I wait for so
What took
long,
me so
right?
long?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I should have done this last year, or 10 years, or 5 years ago. And you're like, oh, it's
But you're
like,
here now.
yeah, it's that aha moment when you're like, the light bulb goes on and you're like, oh, no wonder I was so miserable and unhappy and not motivated anymore and burnt
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. Burnt out. I mean, you definitely want to get people before, but I mean, a lot of they realize it once they get to that point, which is terrible.
Yeah. Because it's a real
I,
condition. Yeah.
it is, and a lot of people don't realize, and there's degrees of it. It's not just, oh, I'm going to fall flat on my face, I'm burnt out now. No, you're probably burning at both ends of at the candle right now, and you're not even realizing it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's very, at the end of the day, it's very self defeating and you feel very resentful about it. And I wrote a book on it in my Create Clarity with Charity series called Master the Art of Resilience. And it's about getting back up from burnout, getting back up from failures, not letting it run your life, letting it drive you
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to further unpack the 4 P's. So, power. What does power mean in your framework?
Yeah. Power is, confidence and clarity and being, you know, in the inner gym, going on the inside and finding your power and claiming it and saying, no, this is truly what brings me joy, happiness, and success. And having the clarity uh, to know what that is, that's so powerful in itself. Just the clarity and then having the confidence to take the steps and take action to do it.
Yeah. So, how does someone reclaim that power if they're operating from the burnout or
Yeah,
self
well,
doubt, for example?
yeah. So that's, and
Without maybe giving away too much of what you do for everybody, but at least from a high level, how does somebody build up from there?
yeah. Well, number one, we have this superpower called choice. We all have it, and it's
I
claiming.
love that. I love that.
Yeah, because
I choose.
I choose. Okay, I choose to sit here and wallow in this and spin, or I choose to get up and do something about it and be for me. It's like going to the gym. Am I going to sit here and stay overweight, or am I going to get up and go to the gym?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Choose. Choice. I love that.
Choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Planning. So many founders either overplan or they don't plan at all. What does that effective planning actually look like in your world?
Yeah, effective planning is, it's like moldable. It metamorphosizes. It's not like
Yeah.
here's the plan on
Oh, you have
one.
such great words when you're describing things. I love it. Good verbs.
Yeah, because plans metamorphosize. So we work with the skeleton, here's bare bones, here's just general framework. And then as time goes on, we have this accountability software that helps business owners stay accountable to their goals, their metrics, their active, activities, their delegation rules, their teams, and and their profits, and putting all that into a
Together.
plan that morphs with the growth of the business. Or if it's starting slower, then we can adjust and tailor the plan. So we don't want to get in analysis paralysis because that's what it's so easy to just get stuck in analysis paralysis and really just look at it more as a picture of success. Your business, this is what success looks like on paper. And if you had the right team and the strategy and the audience and
Yeah,
the money.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
totally. Because you are right. I mean, it does metamorphosize, and it's a living, breathing plan. It's not just, we put a plan and we write it in stone and there's no flexibility around it. You have to have flexibility around it as things start to move and shift in your business.
Yeah, and that's when people get really frustrated and they ditch the plan and then they start working without one. And that is the number one problem really, is that people get frustrated and they think in the box that it's got to be this number. We didn't make it. We're failing. You know, now what? Let's throw some more money at marketing and wish market and not use the plan anymore and veer off track. And then there they go. So that's what the thing is to be able to recognize that as a business owner, like, okay, I'm fine. Maybe we didn't make our margin this month. Maybe we didn't hit, top line. We can reevaluate our marketing plan, our ad spend, our positioning, and tweak it. It has to be tweaked all the time.
Yeah. They get frustrated because the plan didn't work and that's why they kind of like jump off of it or move away from it. Is that why? Because they're not really understanding that there are shifting mechanisms through it, or where's the frustration at its core?
Yeah, well, I guess it depends on market. So, like, I'm thinking, let's say restaurateurs, just because that's a lot of people I've worked
Up
with.
and
It's
down.
hospitality. Yeah, it's a cutthroat business, very small profit margins. And they got this great idea and they spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get these restaurants going. And then they didn't realize, oh, their parking lot isn't even big enough to fill the restaurant seats.
Yeah.
They didn't think about that. So now they feel like, now they feel like, oh, panic, because it's that point where you gotta really evaluate all those things, like cost per square foot, number of seats, number of this, number of that. And that's why they hire me. And so not necessarily my plans, because my accountability system works because it's coaching too. So I would never let them veer off, but I can
Yeah.
see the wanting to, like, and you got to wrangle them back in and look at what it is and find the source of the problem.
Yeah.
And since I'm a numbers girl, I read numbers like, they tell me stories. I understand everything that's going on. I don't even have to go to 20 meetings that month. I can just look at the financials and see what's going on and draw some pictures and be like, well, I can tell you right here, your food cost's too high, your employment's too high.
Yep.
I mean, 3 extra people on a day. Like, what are you doing? That's why you're not meeting goal now. Oh, but they're like, well, so,
Yeah.
they need support.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So next up is prospects. This is where marketing comes in. How do you teach entrepreneurs to approach attracting clients differently? So in essence, what role does clarity play in lead generation?
Oh yeah, so much. And yeah, so the P is positioning and prospects. So it's positioning yourself. One, being clear on
Yeah.
your clients, being clear on the problem you solve for them or the product that you offer that provides a service or a solution. Um, and being clear on where your market scope is, what the demographic is, really dialing into, key factors within marketing psychology. What do they like? What colors do they like? What kind of places do they visit? What kind of magazines do they read? Like, how old are they? How much do they make? You have to like really get dialed into the person that you're putting your product or service in front of.
Yeah.
And once you do that and your brand identity resonates with your business and then with your clients or your customer, then it's the golden road. And testing that and positioning yourself correctly is, one of the hardest things to do if you
Huge.
don't do the work. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So last but not least, profits. And you're an
Yes.
accountant, so let's talk money. What are most founders getting wrong about profitability?
Um, Well, I mean, there's a couple of different kinds of profit. So we got gross profit, we got EBITDA, we got net, we got earnings before taxes and depreciation. And we have the real profit that the actual business owner can take home in a K1 or get dividends for, or can, use to roll back into the business. And people get caught up on, just general profit margins and not really, taking, you know, I use KPIs a lot. I teach that in the Happy CEO, and there's just like 5 numbers that business owners need to all know, and they don't need to be math geniuses, and they don't need an accounting degree, and they don't need to be belabored for like 10 hours to figure it out. Actually, the profits part is the quickest part of the program because a lot of people get bored with the numbers. But what I
Yeah.
do is I roll it into kind of a fun exercise and make it less scary and less cumbersome and set up the correct tools. So, number one, you got to have the right tools. Now, AI is so present. I mean, it's so much easier now to get a balance sheet and a profit and loss and to understand where your profits are every month than ever. So, so that means that you need to know what your KPIs are, what your goal is for profits. Is it 70%? Is it 30? Is it 10?
Oh
What is
yeah.
your
Yeah.
target? And so yeah, I think the profits is being clear on that as well. So it's clarity all around on those 4 Ps.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, because it's funny that you say that people get, stressed out with numbers. I mean, it's like you would almost think, jumping into business, that that's the first thing that they would understand is like the profit standpoint or like the numbers, like, how much do I need to make, to break even every month and so on and so forth. But it's almost like the last thing they think about because they're so focused on this product or service that they're developing, and it's they just completely forget about everything else because they're crafting really at the end of the day, but then they're having to be a financial person, a marketer, a this, a that, and it's a lot.
It is.
And that's why I love the fact that you have the financial background as well as the marketing background and so on. It's like it makes it easier for someone like you. It makes it easier for someone like me to start a business because I understand marketing, right? But a lot of people who go out there, it's like they just know the one thing. I'm going to, make the best socks on earth. How I'm going to get it out to everybody, I don't know. But I'm going to make them the best socks that there are.
That's a great entrepreneur. That's the best of them. Literally, they
Yeah.
care about is getting their business and working their passion. And
Yeah.
that's entrepreneurship. Like you don't have to be, college educated to run a multi-million dollar company anymore, but you definitely need to have the tools that I'm talking about to do it.
Yeah, yeah. So as a package in the Happy CEO, the type of tools and resources that you provide, I don't want you to give away everything because I think, it is your proprietary like build out, but is it, financial tools, mindset practices, branding experience? Can you talk to us a little bit about, in essence, what the experience is when somebody comes in?
Yeah, it's okay. So it's like a group. You get one-on-ones with me. You get so many deliverables. Like you get your accountability software. You get your billion-dollar branding strategy. You get your happiness method. Number one, you get an amazing community of other entrepreneurs that have also built their businesses from ground up that have all these amazing professions and skills and trades and connect with people that are really successful and thriving right now in this year, this day and age. And so you have support, you have community, and you have like hot rod tools along with hundreds of years of mentorship from the other coaches and people that I bring in that also are branding experts or like my Zen Zone monk coach Alan. He'll come in for
Yeah,
the CEO part, and then I'll bring in like Brian Gregory from Edmanity Protocol, who
love
has
that.
created the Edmanity Protocol, which is this amazing $1 million branding report that you get. And then I have Paul, who's also a coach and a branding expert, and he has Boss Academy, and it's all baked into this amazing package.
Wow, I love that. It sounds so rich. Really, it does. That's amazing. So let's talk leadership, women, and sustainable success, because I know you work closely a lot with women entrepreneurs. What barriers are women still facing?
Yeah, oh man, as a woman in business, it's always been we're the minorities, it's a man's world out there, but I don't believe that. And I teach my women entrepreneurs really stand in their power and own their leadership. And that's where the confidence building, because it is kind of erasing what we've been told for many years. So I find that a lot of my female clients, and a bunch of them are military veterans, and they've been dedicated and yeah, and they've really worked
They really
hard,
do. Yeah.
and they give
They're the best
everything.
business people.
Yeah. And it just blow my mind how they can shift and they're so determined, and it's giving me chills right now just because,
Yeah.
it makes me so happy because, I mean, in this day and age, we need heart-centered leaders, and women have that heart-brain coherence where they're not just about profits and what's the ego. They're
Yeah.
about heart, and understanding people at a core level and really connecting with them, to be of service and to provide value. I'm not saying men don't. I'm just saying, like, I think that in this day and age, that
It's different.
heart-centered
It's different.
entrepreneurs are needed. Men
Yeah.
need more women business owners to work with because they have a care factor. They have that heart-brain coherence that really creates that abundance factor
Yeah.
and help people shift into that.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I think that, we are built differently. I mean, men and women are different. I mean, our emotions are different. The way we approach things are different. So it's not that, men do it better or women do it better. It's just a different approach, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, women have kids. It's a man would never be able to understand the emotion that comes from that, right? So just alone and in of that self, the heart center to what you're talking about is huge, right?
Yeah.
Um, what does intentional leadership look like for you in 2026?
Yeah, I mean, and intentionality is key. And like, not wish marketing, every dollar you spend is intentional. You want a return, really dialing into your intentions. So you're filled up and full and feel successful because you're following through with what your intention is and taking action on that. So I think, you know, intentional business ownership is the 4 P's. You have to do the first P. You have to find your joy point. You have to find your happiness. You have to do what feels good to you at least 50% of the time, you know, because then you can serve your clients and customers. So I
Yeah.
think putting yourself first and your family and God, if that's what feels good. Some people meditate every morning, some people go on runs, some people dance, some people, go on a walk with their dogs. Do something that brings you joy and reinvigorates you before you know, get to work.
Start your day. I was
Yeah.
reading a meme somewhere the other day where it was where, the 5 a.m. club, right? It's, you get to take care of things before the world kind of, breaks it all down, in the sense of, like, you have that peace and quiet before it's the chaos of the
Yeah.
entire world waking up. And it is true. I mean, I go to the gym at 6:30 every morning, so I get up, and out of my house by 6 o'clock. And even though it's just a simple fact of being at the gym, it's tackling one thing that is probably mentally going to be the hardest thing that you do. Because I'll tell you, I've woken up at 5:30 for the last like 5 years, and I still don't enjoy it. Every time my
No.
alarm rings, I'm like, no, I'd love to go back to sleep again. But I
Yeah.
get up, and when you accomplish that, to your point, like you said, the choice, am I going to do this or just stagnate? What's the choice that you're making to move forward? And it feels good at the end, right?
Yeah. It's very self-rewarding.
Truly. Charity, you are awesome. I mean, the way you describe things, how you're working through it, it's just, your choice of words, for lack of a better term. I mean, it's just unbelievable in terms of your delivery, and what you're truly doing to support that inner self. Because a lot of people forget about that. And I think nobody really talks about what it takes to build a business. Nobody really talks about how to push through, or how to continue to push through and not give up, and to really, ensure that this is in a good place while we continue to produce every day. So, I mean, just kudos to you and everything that, you're putting out, and who you're supporting. And I love that military background, because they really come from an extremely different mindset, which is just beautiful
Yeah.
altogether. Yeah.
Yeah, they need us. They need coaches and people like us to, because the military doesn't teach that kind of stuff. Neither does common society. The
No.
matrix has us all primed, and it's time to really step into intentional living.
You need to do a course for kids in high school to really
Yes.
build them
Oh, I
up.
hadn't
Yeah,
done
to
that.
get them to think about that mindset before they even go, because this generation is all about entrepreneurship. I mean,
Yes.
it's, in my time, I'm an 80s baby, an early 80s baby, and it's just, we were taught to, like, go to school, go to college, and find a job.
Yes.
Nowadays it's be creative. Think about what you can be doing in this world,
Yes.
And they
Amen
need
to
to be
that.
teaching stuff like that from the beginning, even finance, like a basic finance class.
Yeah, and I do that. I work with a lot of
I
nonprofits
love
with
that.
young entrepreneur programs. I've had hundreds of students go through our program, and they just thrive, and they're so good at it because they don't have that heaviness that a lot of adults have from failures or insecurities or being primed or not feeling good enough, and they just come in
Corporate
and
shackles, as you called
perfect
it.
shackles. Yeah.
Yeah, so true. So true. Well, I'm not going to let you go yet because we want to do our rapid fire questions. So, whatever comes to mind as I ask you, just, shoot away. What's one word that defines great leadership?
Teamwork.
That's a good one. What's one myth about entrepreneurship that you'd like to debunk?
Get rich quick scheme.
I know it's almost like the book. I forget the name of the author, but it's the Think and Grow Rich. I feel like a lot of people who pick that up think that they're just going to read a page that's going to tell them exactly how to get rich, but they don't know that there's actually work that has to be done.
Years
Yeah,
of it, yes.
yeah. What's one daily habit that helps you become the CEO you are today?
Discipline.
I love that word.
Ah.
Yeah. If there's one thing I'm personally taking from this conversation is that clarity isn't optional. It's definitely foundational. So thank you so much for this, Charity. It's been such a ball of fun. You're unbelievable. And I love what you're doing. Keep doing it. And we'll link all the details below for everybody to get in touch with you. But thank you again for your
Thank
time on this
you.
pod.
Thank you. Appreciate it.